In the 19th century, Uruguay became a destination for waves of Italian immigrants seeking a better life amid economic turmoil in their homeland. Throughout the century, particularly from the 1830s to the 1880s, Uruguay experienced significant social and economic transformations that drew many Italians to its shores. These immigrants, fleeing poverty, political instability, and social unrest in Italy, brought with them hopes of prosperity and a new beginning. However, as their numbers grew, so did tensions with the local population, leading to resentment and xenophobic attitudes fueled by economic competition. Italian immigrants arrived in Uruguay in increasing numbers during the 19th century, with the largest waves coming from southern Italy. They settled primarily in Montevideo and other coastal cities, where opportunities in commerce, crafts, and construction were more accessible. The Italians quickly became involved in various trades and industries, contributing significantly to the country's economic development. Many worked as masons, carpenters, shopkeepers, and farmers, while some went on to establish successful businesses. Their hard work and entrepreneurial spirit made them an integral part of the urban economy and the growing middle class. However, this influx of Italians also created a sense of economic competition that did not sit well with many locals. Uruguayans, particularly those of Spanish or mestizo descent, often viewed the Italian newcomers as rivals who threatened their livelihoods. Many Italian immigrants were willing to work for lower wages or longer hours, which created tension with local workers who struggled to compete. The Italians' willingness to accept lower pay for jobs in construction, agriculture, and artisanal trades sparked fears among native-born Uruguayans that their own economic prospects would diminish. In the labor market, Italians quickly filled positions in trades that were traditionally dominated by locals, leading to fears that Uruguay's job opportunities were being taken over by foreigners. The construction industry, in particular, saw a significant influx of Italian workers, who became known for their skills in masonry and bricklaying. While their craftsmanship was often praised, resentment grew over the perception that Italians were taking jobs from local laborers or driving down wages due to their large numbers and willingness to work for less. Tensions occasionally erupted into violence, with labor disputes and strikes sometimes taking on a xenophobic character, targeting Italian workers and businesses. Xenophobic attitudes towards Italians were exacerbated by cultural differences and stereotypes. Italians were often portrayed in a negative light, viewed as clannish, unruly, or even criminal. Some locals perceived them as failing to assimilate into Uruguayan society, choosing to maintain their language, customs, and tight-knit communities rather than adopting the culture of their new home. The persistence of Italian language schools, newspapers, and mutual aid societies fueled suspicions that Italians were more loyal to their homeland than to Uruguay. Furthermore, their Catholic faith, while shared by many Uruguayans, was sometimes practiced with distinct Italian traditions that set them apart from the local Catholic community, reinforcing the perception of cultural otherness. The Italian community's growing influence in commerce and real estate also sparked jealousy and resentment. Many Italian immigrants, after establishing themselves in the workforce, began to acquire property and start businesses, which allowed them to climb the social ladder. While some Uruguayans viewed this upward mobility as a positive contribution to the country's development, others saw it as a threat. The increasing presence of Italian-owned shops, bakeries, and cafes in urban centers, especially in Montevideo, gave rise to fears that the Italians were dominating key sectors of the economy. Local merchants, who struggled to compete with the newcomers' business acumen, often accused them of undercutting prices and engaging in unfair trade practices. Anti-Italian sentiment reached its peak during periods of economic hardship, such as during the economic crises of the 1870s and 1880s. When times were tough, Italian immigrants were scapegoated as the cause of Uruguay's economic troubles, with politicians and labor leaders blaming them for taking jobs away from native Uruguayans. The economic difficulties led to a surge in xenophobic rhetoric and discriminatory practices. There were calls to restrict immigration, impose taxes on foreign-owned businesses, and prioritize native-born citizens for jobs and economic opportunities. Although not formalized as national policy, these sentiments manifested in local laws and customs that made it more difficult for Italians to access certain benefits or protections. Despite the challenges they faced, Italian immigrants remained resilient and continued to make significant contributions to Uruguayan society. Over time, many Italians integrated into the local culture, intermarrying with Uruguayans and adopting aspects of the local lifestyle while still retaining elements of their cultural heritage. The formation of Italian-Uruguayan societies, mutual aid organizations, and cultural clubs helped to bridge the gap between the communities, promoting social cohesion and mutual understanding. Italian immigrants played a key role in shaping Uruguay's architecture, cuisine, and cultural life, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to influence the country today. Moreover, the Italian community's persistence in the face of adversity gradually won them greater acceptance among Uruguayans. As the 19th century drew to a close, Uruguay experienced another wave of modernization and economic growth, which helped to alleviate some of the tensions surrounding immigration. Italians who had previously been seen as outsiders began to be viewed as important contributors to the nation's development, with many second-generation Italian-Uruguayans achieving prominence in various fields, including politics, the arts, and business. The story of Italian immigrants in 19th-century Uruguay is one of resilience and adaptation amidst xenophobia and economic competition. It highlights the challenges faced by immigrants in navigating the complexities of a society that both needed and resented their contributions. Despite the initial resistance and hostility, Italian immigrants left a profound mark on Uruguay, helping to shape its modern identity and forging a multicultural legacy that endures to this day. Their experiences underscore the broader themes of migration, economic rivalry, and cultural integration that have shaped the histories of nations worldwide.